there, kids! Welcome to the Child of Mecha live stream. I was about to say website, I don't know why. Live stream. Welcome to the Child of Mecha live stream. I'm your host, Tim, the one and only Child of Mecha. It is Friday. Friday. Fuck it, Friday. All of the above. Here we are. We're through almost another week. Almost. So, yeah, good times. Good freaking times. So we got two streams today, this one and tonight, and then punch our ticket to the weekend, and yeah, we're good. We're good. So, got some good work done yesterday. Messed up a bunch of times, fixed them, but learned from the mistakes, admittedly. So yeah, we're going to continue working on these little flappy shoulder parts things, and we're going to continue pushing forward on this thing. So before we do, don't forget to buy your yes. Anywho, all right. So kids. Let's go super zoom. Let's go super zoom. Might as well. And turn these boys around. There you go. There you go, boys. So this is what we were working on yesterday. This is the one that I did beforehand, and this is the one that we royally screwed up yesterday. So we're going to continue working on this. We just got a little bit more to do. Then we'll ship this down the road, move on to something else. And yeah, so sheesh, let's get to it, shall we? All right, put that boy off to the side there. Get those guys over there. Get the visor on so I can see. And all right, so next thing that we want to do, there is just a simple, just a wrapping panel line around that top there. It's nothing complicated or complex or anything like that. Very, very simplistic. So we're going to do that first. And let's see, what is that? Probably about 4 millimeters from the top. Where's our 4 millimeter scribing jig? Oh, sheesh. There's a pile of them over here that I did not see. And hey, guess what I found? All right, good deal. 4 millimeters. Let's check it and see if that's the right one or not. It is not. Why would it be? Ay, ay, ay. So I may have to pause the stream in a moment because Amber is heading to her mother's house, and then she is off to orientation for college. Oh, I hear an Amber. You going through the garage? Oh, okay. Oh, you saying bye now? You got everything? Okay. Do you want to say hi real quick? Okay. Okay. All right. Be safe. Drive safe. Have a lot of fun. Take a lot of pictures, yeah? All right, kid. Love you. All right. Bye, kiddo. All right. Anywho, so she didn't need me to help her. So we're just going to continue on with our activities. And yeah, so 4.5 around the top. So let's do this first. Let's get this dust out of here. There we go. That's looking good. All right. So we've got both of those there. We need our 0.15 for our panel line. Pete, what's going on, buddy? He says, oh no, the Mecha Man is back. Do you know the Mecha Man? The Mecha Man? The Mecha Man. Sounded like that scene from Shrek. The Muffin Man scene. Alright. And again, this is just a simple wrapping panel line. This is nothing very complex. Jesus. Now if I could just hold the damn... Okay. Okay. So we're not gonna do anything super dumb complicated here. We're just gonna describe this damn panel line. Basically what I'm doing, I'm just using the 1, 2, 3 blocks to stabilize the part while I hold the scribing jig in place here. There we go. Much better. And now just bring that line to depth. Line around the bevel. Looking good. There we are. Okay. Almanaxis said, thinking more of the lovable loser from the Dispatch game? Pete, you lost me on that one, buddy. I don't know what that is. Okay. All right, there is that panel line. Okay, so the last bit that we need to apply to this thing is the little panel here, the little octagonal panel. Luckily for me, I already pre-cut that when I applied this one. Right? So, yeah. So should be good there. Let's see. Lovable loser. Main character's superhero alter ego is named Mecha Man. It was one of the biggest surprise games last year. Honestly, I've never heard of it, but then again, I don't play a lot of games, so yeah, unfortunately the reference is lost on me. I'm sorry, Pete. It just sounded, it was more like, yeah, it sounded more like a Shrek reference. Do you know the Mecha Man? Anyway. Hey, look at this guy. He's back. E-Swing. What's going on, buddy? Hello, good morning. Good morning. Good morrow, weary traveler. All right. So, let's get this guy glued into place here. Now, yeah, I used super glue on this bugger. All right, so I believe if that was 4.5, that I think is down probably about 5.5 off the top. Let me double check. And maybe more about 5. Let's see, where's my number 5? There it is. There it is. Let's see what we've got here. Yeah, that's closer to 5. Okie dokie. So, we will strike a mark on this here at good old 5mm. Pencil, pencil, pencil. Just like that. And then now we know exactly where to glue this little panel on. All right. Now for that, we're going to be using good old BSI. All right. Let's get that guy out of the way. Alright, first things first, let's clean some of the super glue off of the jaws here, because that's gonna inhibit gripping this piece. There we go. Alright, so now we've got the jaws on these tweezers clean. Let's see if we can pick... Oh, you son of a bitch! Arrgh! Hang on, kids. Gotta find it. Yeah, that's part of the problem with the squeezy jaw tweezers here. Alright, couldn't have gone far. It couldn't have gone far. Let's go camera 2 while I'm on my hunt. Son of a bitch. Very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. Alright, so let's systematically do this and move parts off to the side. Can't believe I fucking just sailed. It just went. Just went. Fucking yeeted right out of the damn tweezers. Oh boy. Oh. There you are, you little shit. There you are. That didn't take long. All right, so. Let's skip the squeezy jaw tweezers. Let's go with just the normal squeezy tweezers here. All right, let's try that one more time. You know, let's go super zoom. Booyah. Ay, ay, ay. Anyway, let's see. Pete says, it ties into the stream nicely as the studio behind the Dispatch game is named ad hoc, and their logo is the letters held in a sprue. Interesting. Bonus info, game was partially funded by Critical Role. Interesting. That's very interesting. I do love me some, what is it? Oh God, what's their show? There's Mighty Nine, and then it just came back on Amazon. Oh, for the life of me, I can't remember the fucking name. And it's right there at the tip of my tongue. Vox Machina. There you go. Yeah, Vox Machina and the Mighty Nine. Vox Machina. There you go. I think that was an autocorrect, but yeah, same type of thing. Vox Machina and Mighty Nine, both great shows. If you have Amazon Prime, highly recommend both of them. Vox Machina is in their 4th season. And then Vox Fug, autocorrect. Yeah, you go. I kind of figured it was autocorrect. But yeah, Vox Machina is in its 4th season. Started off with a bang. The first 3 episodes came out. Mighty Nine is awesome, though. Dare I say, I kind of like the Mighty Nine better than Vox Machina. Both are excellent, don't get me wrong, but if I had to choose one in a death match, I'd probably go Mighty Nine. Just because it's just really, really good. So, but yeah, you know, it's funny, like, I had no freaking clue who Critical Role was or anything like that before Vox Machina, but now, you know, obviously there are a bunch of voice actors who are, you know, super geeks who play D&D and blah blah blah, and I've tried to sit and watch one of their streams, you know, past streams and stuff, but there was no way I could get through it. It's not my thing. But the shows are great. The shows are fucking great. Don't get me wrong. So, but anyway, all right. How are we gonna do this here? Am I gonna try to transfer this 1/4 millimeter thing in hand to hand here because I'm right-handed, and I guess that's what we're doing. Oh, cool. Okay, so we got a little drop, a little drippy drop there. That's way too much super glue. God damn. That is way too much super glue on there. Especially for a 1/4 millimeter part. Oy. All right, we're gonna put that off to the side there, and let's see if we can do this. All right. Alright, so that, in terms of placement, looks pretty good. Compare it with its sibling. Looking good. Looking good. Yeah, alright, I'll take that. So now we need to reinforce the back here. So what I did on the original piece was in that little opening here that we covered up with that strip of plastic, put a drop of super glue in there, and that you know, solidified everything down real nicely. Now, I don't, Jesus, I don't, can we get, no, that's too big. The nozzle is way too big to fit in there. So, little drop, little dab will do ya. There we go. Gonna do that, and then we're going to get our little needle thingy here. And we're just gonna very carefully apply a decent amount of super glue in there to fill that little that void. There we go. All right, so that should be good. That should be good. All right, and then let's get a few drops of kicker. There we go. That should do it. That should do it. Okay. Eastwank says deep breath and remember it's Friday. There you go. There you go. Gio, he says, hello everyone. Another busy day at work. It hasn't been like this in a while. Which could be both good and bad. Good for the business, bad for your time, but, you know, c'est la vie. Job security, I guess, right? Job security. Okay, so that is probably cured properly at this point. So let's kind of clean up the rest of the activator, the kicker here. Let's just get that dried off. There we go. Yeah, that'll be fine. Okay, jolly good. So we've got that. Ooh, some on the outside here. What's up with that? There we go. All right. So just making sure that's all good there. All right, cool. So now what we need to do is to outline scribe this guy, right? And for that, where is it? There it is. For that, we're going back to 0.20, right? And let's get to it. Yeah, this will be pretty simple. I'm just going right around this little part. Geo says, let's see, where, get back, come on, man, stupid mouse. There we go. Geo says, might start hiring soon. Nice, dude. Geo, what is it that you do, buddy? What kind of business? And I'm not trying to get in your business, but what kind of business? None of your business. My business is none of your business. Because usually when a company starts hiring, it's one of two things. It either means
strong client base or heavy turnover. By the sounds of it, sounds like you got some stronger client base. I could be wrong, but hopefully I'm not.
There we go. Oh. Must move for the CIA. Nice. Good shit, Gio. Good answer. Good answer. Mikey says, freaking YouTube and then not sending any notifications. Yeah, YouTube does that sometimes. Well, a lot of times, unfortunately. But it is what it is. It is what it is, Mikey. You're here now, buddy. Okay, little traces of super glue squeeze out right along this edge, so just trying to get that scraped out before I attempt any sort of panel line there. And yep, just a little bit more down here at the bottom. There we go. Okay. So far, so good. Just a few more lines to put on this thing, and then we'll move on to the next. Okay, a little bit more squeeze out down here at the bottom of this piece. There we go. That looks to be pretty clean.
Some of these little itty bitty lines are some of the hardest freaking lines to describe, I swear. There we go. And it's wrapped around there. And I think it honestly has to do more with the plastic than anything with these little lines, because this plastic is not great. You know, like we've talked about in the past, it's a bit more brittle than, you know, a full opaque plastic is, which causes you know, a couple different things to happen. Number one, this model especially, I've noticed, you know, the directionality of the plastic when I'm scribing through it, and you know, similar to wood grain, right? How wood grain has a directionality to it. It feels like this plastic has a very pronounced directionality, because, you know, I'll scribe in one direction, it'll be, you know, smooth as butter, but then spin it around, you go into, you know, go the opposite direction to, you know, kind of smooth the line out and everything, and it'll stair step and just be really kind of nasty. And just like that, you know, just like this panel line here this line that I just scribed, yeah, one direction was skipping and stair stepping, and the other direction was, you know, perfectly smooth. So, and then yeah, it's just, this plastic is just a more brittle. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not brittle, but it is more brittle than, say, your, you know, like I said, your opaque plastic. Your opaque plastic is kind of feels softer a bit, you know, when going up against the chisel, obviously. But in the grand scheme of things, I mean, the plastic's almost identical. But in terms of using the chisels and stuff, yeah, you can definitely notice a difference between the two types of plastics, right? So, all right. So we got these two pieces done. Excellent. Let's get them on to their flappy inner frames here. And there we go. Yeah. Nice. Very nice. Very, very, very good. I'm happy with these. I'm happy with these. So that means that the arm and shoulder units are almost done. Almost. We got the top of the shoulders done when I was on my kind of modeling binge the other day. We got these duplicated, so those are looking good. Identical virtually. And so really the only thing that we have to do is, or I should say the only thing that I have to do, because I've already shown this to you guys, is duplicate this scribe pattern across all four of the shoulder pieces here, front and back, right? So that's going to take a little bit of work. That's because that wasn't easy. That was not easy. It was very time consuming. So, but it is what it is. So we'll get it done. We will get it done. Now, let's see. What shall we work on next? I was fiddling around with the backpack a bit and trying to come up with ideas on how to make this whole thing work. And then I also, instead of these lines being recessed, I went ahead and raised them a bit. So this is just a placeholder. This is not the final. Get out of here. That's not the final piece, but you know, you can kind of see how those lines are, instead of being recessed, are going to be slightly raised, about a 0.5 millimeter. So that's going to look really, really good. But what I'm trying to figure out here is kind of order of operations, right? Because since this is a high grade, it's not as elegant a design in terms of assembly as, say, your master grade or anything like that, right? The seams are in not great locations. Like, for instance, like what the fuck is that about, Bandai? Like, come on, that's just right on the side. What is that? That's stupid. Just stupid. But, you know, again, it's a high grade. What are you going to do? So, trying to come up with solutions for all of this. And what I think I'm going to do, this part pivots, right? But I don't ever see a situation where it would have to pivot, right? So I may fix this into position. And same thing with this here. This actually held, if you know, this tilts up, right? And it actually held this little bank of rockets or whatever, you know? And it's just like, okay. Good in theory, bad in practice. So I may remake this as a solid piece as well, which will not hinge or reveal anything underneath. It's just would be a part of the design, essentially, right? So I'm thinking to solidify both of these features, and then also, where did that panel go? There it is. This panel here, it slots in right there. Now this gives some nice, you know, inner detail to this piece, right? But then you've got this mess of, you know, ribbing here that holds this part in, both here and at the top, right? And that's ugly. You know, it's just ugly. It's an ugly look to it. So have to figure something about that as well. And what I think I also might do, I'm not very keen on this shape here, right? I like the kind of prominence that it comes up to, you know, this point here, right? I like that it comes off of this surface, goes up to about here, and then slopes back down. Now, the thing that I don't like about it is that it's a little too dull for me. So I'm thinking of extending this and making this a bit pointier, you know, the angle a bit more acute, right? So I'm thinking of doing something along those lines with this piece. We'll figure that out. And then obviously we need to do something with the thruster bell, because that's just ugly. We'll have to, you know, pop something in there, maybe like a metal thruster or something like that in here, just to make that look better. And then the other thing that I want to address is this just weird open area here. I don't know what this is or why it's there, but it is. So definitely have to do something here. What I'm thinking is maybe build a block to fill most of this up, and to about, I don't know, maybe 2-3 millimeters under this level, and then insert like metal thrusters in that block, and maybe have that attached with magnets or something like that is what I'm kind of thinking. So, but that's all kind of working theory at this point. I'm still wrestling with all of that, and I'm not exactly sure what the direction is going to be for all of that at this point, but we'll get that squared away. We'll get that squared away. All right. Let's just real quick catch up with the chit chat. Let's go camera one. All right. So when last we were here, Mikey was complaining about not getting the YouTube notifications. Gio says, right now I'm wearing a lot of hats. I'm a driver, dispatcher, forklift driver. I have a transportation business. Oh, shit. Very cool. Very cool, Gio. Well, yeah, I mean, if you're getting ready to hire, then yeah, I mean, got to be one of two things. Either business is good or there's heavy turnover. So hopefully it's the latter and not the former. So Mikey says, finally finished all my weekly overtime, but I still got to get a lot more done in this house over the weekend. Yeah, dude, it's, Mikey, from experience, it's going to be a sprint from now to the time you move. And it's going to be nonstop. Yeah. Prepare to be extremely, extremely tired all the time. I remember when we got into this house, that very, very first night sleeping in here, I used to have this giant like beanbag full of like foam instead of, like little plastic pellets or whatever, like from the old school bean bags. Like this was a super comfortable one, and like you could lay in it and sleep in it and everything. And that first night I slept in that thing because my mattress was still rolled up from the move, and I didn't want to deal with it. But man, I'm gonna tell you what, I have never slept better than that first night in this house. When the move was all said and done, and I could just be here and not worry about anything anymore. Man, I'm gonna tell you what, I probably slept 12 hours on that damn beanbag, and it was the most comfortable sound sleep I've ever had in my life. So yeah, once you get the move done, oh yeah, then it'll be good. But from here on out, yeah, it's going to be a solid sprint, buddy. It's going to be a solid sprint every step of the way. Yeah. Calvin's with us. He says, hello, my goodies. Sounds like the Wicked Witch of the West when I say that. Hello, my goodies. Mikey says, why don't you just make your own heat sinks and put them in where those rockets went? You'd be making your own opening hatch gimmick fitting for a master grade. It's a possibility. Now that you mention it, let's see something. Hang on. So now that he's mentioned it, now I kind of got an idea in my mind, and I want to see real quick if it's a viable idea or not. Right? So there we go. Where are they? Where are they? They're in here somewhere. Aha. Oh, there we go. All right, so let's go back to camera 2 and show you what I'm kind of thinking here. So yeah, so basically we got these thruster bells in here, and I mean, even though it's a high grade and everything, I like the look of it. I dig it, right? But now, since Mikey said that, I'm almost wondering... Oh, see, that's too thin. That's too thin. Yeah, we could have done something along that line. That will be, you know, if I was to try and attempt to meld these pieces together, that's gonna be a shit ton of work, and I just want to ship this thing down the line. So that's gonna be a big fat no. We're gonna stick with the thruster bells here. Yeah, we're just going. I still like the look of this. This is a really good look, I think. But you know, and it kind of, honestly, with the look of this being kind of just stuck on the side, it kind of gives the feeling of like a hot rod, you know, or like a, you know, heavy modified car, something like that. I mean, you know, you've seen the cars with like the engine sticking out of the hood or something like that. It kind of gives that type of feeling, or like, you know, like in a big exhaust tip or some shit like that. You see some cars, you know, go down the street with, and they're like, you know, like that kind of noise, a little bit. Yeah, I do like the look of it, and yeah, we're just gonna keep it. We're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep it. So that's done. All right. So real quick, let's finish getting caught up with the chat. Let's see. Gio says, once I start hiring, I can turn my attention to my true passion. I want to be a mime. Oh shit. Good stuff, Gio. Good stuff. Eastwank says, yeah, it does look great. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Yeah, I think, you know, in terms of work to end result, I don't think there's, with the overall shape of this thing and what it would take to meld the two parts together, I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze, as they say. So yeah, I'm just gonna stick with this. I like this look anyways. So that's kind of why I kind of gravitated toward this piece as kind of a booster for the backpack and everything. So yeah. All right. So with that being said, let's move on. Now back on the leg here, just for a bit. Let's focus on this guy right here. Yeah, let's go super zoom. All right, so that's the inner lower leg armor for the Shiki here, and you know, I was gonna come up with some complex thing design akin to this here, right? Something that would complement this, right? But with this being so ornate, I wanted to balance that out. And so that's it. That's all. That's all we're doing. Just that simple strip there, that circular recess for a metal part, and that's it. There's, you know, a panel line, you know, a rim panel line around the opening to match the panel line that we got here for that. There you go. You can see it right there. Yeah, outline scribed, and that's it. That's literally all we're going to do with this particular piece. We're going to keep it simple. Now, obviously, we're going to, at the end, we'll have some decals and things like that, and it'll be a little bit more detailed. But, in terms of surface level details and modifications, yeah, I mean, we're not going to do a lot. We're not going to do a lot. We're going to keep it simple. Kiss it. Keep it simple, stupid, right? So, with that, I already got the strip of plastic cut here and shaped to match the other one. So realistically, all we got to do right now is to apply it to the piece. And as you can see, I've already marked out exactly where it needs to be glued down. So we've got our center line, we've got our top border. We just bloop, right down onto the plastic, get that super glue cured, outline it, put the circle feature into it, get that panel line around the opening, and this part will be done. And then once we get this back onto the leg, the lower leg of the Shiki, outside of the foot, is basically done. So, yeah, I'm not going to do anything to these kind of fork looking deals here. It doesn't need it. We can make those look good with maybe some decals or something like that down the line. But the lower leg section here will be done at that point once we get the inner lower leg armor on. Then we can kind of turn our attention to the upper bits here, and then obviously the foot. And the foot is going to be an undertaking because I got some plans for that. I don't want to necessarily show you because that's still kind of an in-process thing, right? So let's get to this here. Other direction. There we go. All right. So that there. All right. And then we are going to be using our squeezy squeezy tweezers. There you go. No squeezy. Bad baby. Anyway, that is literally all over the fucking internet right now. The Mandalorian Grogu, those little aliens. Okay. So there's a nice drop of super glue. Spread that out onto the piece, and now we are ready for application. Alright, let's get this nice and centered. Come on. All right, so we got to squeeze out, so that's good. Okay. All right, let's see. Yeah, that's about as perfect as you can get, I think, in terms of placement. Yeah, nice and centered. Right there at the top border of where I wanted it to be. Yeah, that's looking real nice. That's looking real nice. Very, very good. All right, so now, similar thing to what we did with the flappy shoulder thing. We're just going to put a nice big old drop of super glue in that kind of opening there, and we're going to kick it with a little activator there. Yep, that's crystallizing. That's looking good. And we got most of the squeeze out from the side, so that's looking pretty nice there. Okay, one thing I'm seeing is this, where the tweezers were, it's a bit raised there. So let's remedy that, shall we? Let's get the super glue off the pin here. There we go. And let's see, is this super glue, nope, that is completely cured. So a little drop out onto our scrap palette here, and just get a little bit of that. And we're just going to apply that right around the edge of this piece. Now capillary action will kind of suck that super glue up under this piece. Okay, and I see a little separation here up at the top too. We're going to get that taken care of here. All right, so that looks good. That looks really, really good. That will work for me. All right, so let's get this cured quickly. There we go. Jolly good. Let's check in with the chat here real quick. See what we've got. Michael says it's only off by 0.5 millimeter. Man, shut up, Mike. You big jerk. It is not. It's perfect. It's perfect. All right. So let's get any excess kicker off of here. All right. Very, very nice. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, so now let's quickly get this cleaned up. We will outline scribe it and move on to the other scribing for this. Now, when you're cleaning up the super glue along the surface here, it's usually best to make the a vertical cut down the side of a piece. Now, with this only being 1/4 millimeter, that's really very difficult. So with 1/4 millimeter, I always start with the surface level cuts here to remove this squeeze out and everything, and it works better. And you can see the super glue just raising off the surface real easy. And that's what we're ultimately looking for. There we go. And you can kind of see that there. Yeah, there you go. You can kind of see how that little bit of super glue just raises off the edge. this bit you want to be super careful with, because especially on this transparent or semi-transparent plastic, it's a bit hard to tell what is glue and what is plastic, because they're essentially the same look, you know. So yeah, you gotta be real careful. There we go. Okay, the super glue came up the side edge a little too far for my liking on this bevel here, so okay. That pretty good. Just scrape off the little stubborn bits here. There we go. Alright, good deal. Alright, so let's get this bottom section done here. This looks to be a little bit cleaner, thankfully. Yeah, so there we go. Very nice. And there's just a little bit more on the surface that will just kind of scrape up here. Okay, that's looking really clean so far. Yeah, all right, good deal. So let's get to outlining this guy. Oh shit. What's today? Today's the oh shit. Let me see. Hang on, guys. I'm sorry. Let me. Ah, fuck. Okay. Oh God. All right, hang on, you guys. Let me go camera one. Sorry. I have no idea why this popped into my head, but today is what, June 12th. Tomorrow is June 13th, which is my father's 70th birthday. So I almost forgot about it, if I'm being honest. So, oh shit, that would have been bad. I never would have heard the end of that one. Ay, ay, ay. So, yeah. So not only is my father's birthday on the 13th, Father's Day is on the 21st. Don't forget that, you guys. Say Happy Father's Day to your dad. It's important. It is important. Yeah. So, yeah, June 13th is the old man's birthday. The father of Mecha? Nah, it doesn't sound very good. That doesn't sound any good. Let's see. Matt Havoc's with us. What's going on? And happy early birthday to your father. And Eastwang says happy birthday to your father. Thanks, guys. If I'm being honest, he's... I don't know. Let's put it this way. Nah, we'll leave that for another time. My father and I just don't have a awesome relationship. It just is what it is. You know, he's never really been a big part of my life. So, yeah. It's not, yeah, it's just one of those things. You know, you trust me, I've learned to live with it and do all that. So, yeah, save the happy birthdays, because, yeah, it's not needed at that point. So, but it is what it is. So, no, don't get me wrong. I talk to him every probably, I maybe talk to the old man maybe 2-3 times a year. Yeah, so it is what it is, you know. Him and my mom divorced when I was 2 years old, so I don't even remember or know of a time when, you know, he was kind of around, you know, full time, right? I don't remember when him and my mom were together. So, yeah, it's basically all I know. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to like dump all my trauma on you or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just explaining, you know, no need for the happy birthdays to the man that, you know, wasn't exactly there. So, yeah, lucky number 13, right? Jesus. Matt Havoc says, I understand, Tim, because when my father was alive, he wasn't much of a father to me. Yeah, exactly, right? So, yeah, it is what it is. You know, I always look back at it, and it's that old adage, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. You know what I mean? So, that's kind of how I look at it, and just go with that. So, yeah. I learned to... I just learned to do shit on my own, you know, and I'm probably better off for it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Mikey says, gotta head out later, everyone. Mikey, take care, buddy. Eastwank says, maybe I should have held the happy birthday. LOL, sorry. Nah, dude, you didn't know. There's no need for sorries. There's no need for sorries, bud. You know, it was funny, like on Facebook, Dallas,
Life Death on here, he apologized for missing the stream yesterday. And I'm like, dude, you don't need to apologize, right? It's, you know, life always comes first. And I will be the first one to say that. Obviously being, you know, on hiatus for 5+ years, you know? So life always comes first. Always remember that, kids. Always remember that. Watching the stream is not your job, you know? And I've said this to, you know, several people before. Now, don't get me wrong. I appreciate you guys watching more than anything. And I hope you do every single day that you can. But yeah, if you got something with life, man, that always takes priority. Always takes priority. Hell yeah. So just keep that in mind, kiddos. All right. Let's see. Pete says, I'm really lucky to have a truly amazing father that despite his flaws did the best to love and provide for his wife and kids. Just makes me miss him even more. Man, yeah. I mean, that sounds really cool. Like, there's definite, and I can just, you know, through the words that you typed, Pete, you know, there's appreciation there, right? And that's, yeah, that's pretty special. That's pretty special. So, again, I don't want to make this into like a therapy session or anything for me, right? But yeah, dude, like if you're close to your dad or whatever, or if, you know, if he's, you know, if your parents are still married and everything, man, yeah, you know what? Give him a call, wish him happy Father's Day, all that good stuff, man, all that good stuff. Because I mean, yeah, you know, while my father and I don't have a great relationship, we still have a relationship. It's just not the, I guess, cookie cutter Americana, leave it to Beaver type of relationship. You know what I mean? That you know, you see in movies and TV shows and stuff like that, right? But yeah, I mean, I still love the guy, don't get me wrong, but you know, he had other priorities. So yeah, say la vie. Anyway, back to this. Enough with the trauma dump, yeah? Jesus Christ. I did not mean to go off on a tangent there. I just realized that it was his fucking birthday coming up, and essentially just wanted to remind myself of it. And that's, yeah. So sorry for taking that weird right turn there, kids. Back to work. Back to work. You know, just having that little brief conversation with you guys, it makes me realize that this hobby, right, this pastime of ours is pretty fucking special. You know what I mean? Like, the skipping, the stair-stepping of this directional shit is annoying. But yeah, I mean, I've found some of the best people through this freaking hobby. And mind you, not like local or anything like that. Like, I'm talking about like all over the damn world. Which is just fucking awesome, you know? It's like, you know, when you found your tribe, you know? And that's kind of how I was. And am still in this hobby. You know? It's just filled with some really amazing people. you know, and it's also filled with, you know, a few douchebags here and there. Don't get me wrong. It's not all kumbaya all the time, but for the most part, yeah, it's a really good freaking community. And hopefully, at the end of the day, I can say that I added to it, you know? That's the goal. That's the goal. Okay. Alright. I think we're almost there with this thing. Just tidy up this corner here. There we go.
Yeah, jolly good. Jolly good. Very, very nice. Very nice. Cool. All right. Let's see. Let's get caught up here real quick with the chat. Pete says we unfortunately lost him to cancer 3 years ago. Man, that sucks. Cancer bullshit, dude. I'm so sorry. He says, but moving home to help support him and mom was the best thing I did because we got to become more than father and son, but genuine friends, and rekindle our common hobby of model making together, which is how I found my way back to the hobby after 30 years away. Wow, that's really cool. That's really cool. See, and Pete, you did the right thing. You know what I mean? You did the absolute right thing. You know, sometimes you got to make those sacrifices for family, you know, and that's very commendable. So, buddy, hats off to you, man. Because that's not an easy thing. You know what I mean? That's not an easy thing. To kind of upend your life and your family's life to go back and, you know, take care of a loved one who's struggling. So, yeah, I mean, that's, I think, one of the truest forms of love that you can probably display. So, yeah, hats off, buddy. Hats off. He says, but on a completely different note, how about them in sport? Insert sports team here. Nice pivot. Eastwang says, I'm 26 from California. Nice, dude. Where, Eastwang, where in California are you? Because I know a bunch of people from Cali. There's a huge community out there of Gunpla builders. Yeah, he says, Eastwing says, one thing I've learned so far is to take it slow and do it right. Messed up more times last night. Yeah, exactly. Like, same for me, right? Um, Yesterday's stream, great example. Fucked up several times on the little flappy part on the shoulders, but regrouped, refocused, took my time, fixed it, got it done right. So yeah, that's the name of the game, dude. That's the name of the game. But as long as you're learning, that's the biggest thing. As long as you're learning, you know what I mean? Yeah, like I said, I know a bunch of people in Cali, both in NorCal and SoCal. In Southern California, there is a group called Those Gundam Guys. Riverside. Where is that? Is that NorCal or SoCal? Let me see. I'm just not familiar with. Oh shit, you're okay. You're not too far away from them. Cause yeah, you're right there. Holy shit, okay. Damn. Okay. So yeah, you're pretty close. So yeah, SoCal. So yeah, oh dude, you're super close. Okay, hang on. Let me put you on game here. 1 second. Hang tight, folks. Those Gundam Guys. Yeah. Here we go. Okay, cool. Okay, so let's do let's take a field trip. Hang on. All right. So Eastwank right here. Those Gundam Guys. These are awesome people. Those Gundam Guys.org. .org, right? Now, the important thing is that they hold a Clem, who is top dog there, he'll call it a gathering or a show, but it is a convention. Don't let him get it twisted here. So yeah, SCGMC, Southern California Gundam Modeling Competition. It's now, this year it's in Walnut, California. I don't know where that is, but it's always been in and around like the kind of Anaheim area, sort of. Yeah, this year it's on Saturday, November 7th. This right here represents the largest convention, and I call it a convention because I've been there several times myself, and it's a fucking convention. They have vendors, and they have door prizes and panels and everything. It's a fucking convention. Don't let them get it twisted. But this is such a good time because people come from all over the U.S. For this. I'm in Maryland. I'm on the East Coast, and I've been out there probably 2 or 3 times for this thing. Unfortunately, I'm not going this year. Money, but this is an amazing experience. They have several hundred entries every single year, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. The group, those Gundam Guys, it's just absolutely great people. Like, I've known them for I've known Clem and Angel, which are the 2 top dogs, probably for 20 plus years at this point. And then the other folks I've known, for, increments under that, obviously. But I've known them for a long, long time, all of them. And we've done things together. We've gone to conventions in Arizona, together and stuff like that. They, put together a whole squad and go out to Las Vegas every year for the, one of the national competition as IPMS competitions out there. And I'm going to tell you what, you are going to meet so many cool people at this thing. Very like-minded people. Like I said, they have panels on different subjects and stuff, and it's the biggest Gundam convention, competition, whatever, in, I would say, all of North America. It's a good fucking time. Yeah, dude, this is awesome. This is awesome. So I highly recommend it. If you got time in November on the 7th, go to this thing. Let me see. So the theme this year, and they have an ongoing theme, and they have a theme category, but they have a ton of other different categories too. Theme is formula, so F91 and beyond and everything. So, but yeah, dude, this. It just links back. Oh, here we go. So yeah, okay. So here's the location, Mount San Antonio College Summit Event Center there in Walnut. Entry fee is $20. That does include unlimited entries and a raffle ticket. Like I said, they have a ton of door prizes. If you just want to be a spectator, that's cool too. $10. Easy money. Easy money. The amount of people that you are going to meet there and the knowledge that you're going to be able to take away from this thing is so well worth that cover price for either one. They do have a beginner category and everything, so what I would say is, man, get something done for this. Enter. Get some feedback. They have judges, very experienced judges. I've been a judge in the past. It's just such a good time. They have these special coins made for the winners and stuff like that. Yeah, so like here's the event schedule, right? Doors open at 9 a.m. Panel, making displays for your kits. Awesome. All That Gundam is a quiz show. Excellent. They also have a panel, Kids Build and Take, which is great. Awards ceremony. Oh my God. That right there is such a celebration of the hobby. Because Clem, the leader, he is, he's a bit wild, and a bit of a comedian, and he's great. I tell you, he is great. He's the perfect person to run this thing. Yeah, dude, this is such a great time. So we'll check out the full category list here. All right, so here, ooh, yeah, they've got a bunch, right? They got a bunch. So let's try to get it all in screen if we can. So we got juniors, 12 and under, all scales, all subjects. We got Universal Century, 1/100 and larger, Federation, and then Xeon. And then 144 UC, Federation, and Xeon. And then Universal Century, 1/100 and larger, non-Federation, and Xeon. And then also 144 for that. Gundam Alternate Universe, 1/100 and larger, and then 144 and smaller. You can do figures, Star Wars, General Mecha, Super Deformed Diorama. That gets crazy. I've seen people bring in 6-foot dioramas before, and they've been insane. 3D Mecha, and then obviously, you have your experts category, which they will place you in if they feel that you qualify for that. But your model essentially has to be selected for the experts category. So you got a list of hobby shops that will be there. You got Brookhurst Hobbies, Burbank, House of Hobbies, which is a big one. Guillermo del Toro and some other celebrities have been known to make appearances and purchases from there. They have the pictures to prove it. Hobbyholics, LA Scale Model, Simp Hobbies, Tatsu Hobby. They're from NorCal. Great store. Toy Arena, and also Volks USA. Those guys go deep. They're great. And then model clubs that that show up as well. IPMS Orange County, Las Vegas Gunpla, San Diego Gunpla, and San Francisco Gunpla Club as well. They got a bunch of online communities, Gunpla News, all that good stuff. And then obviously, they've got the breakdown of, the different categories and everything here. And you can read that. I'm not going to go through that here. But yeah, dude, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, all the social medias. But dude, I'm going to tell you what. This is such a good freaking time. Highly recommend it to anyone, and I mean anybody that can make it, because it's that awesome and that special, right? So yeah, dude, it's such good time, such good time. So yeah, go if you can. All right, so East Rank, yes please. He says, that's awesome. Walnut's an hour away from me. He says, wow, that's amazing to have these long time lasting. Oh, yeah, dude. Like I said, I've been in this hobby for 25 plus years, right? And he says it really well. I'm spoiled to be closer, but I have to go now. Oh, dude, yeah, it's so worth it. It's so worth it. He says they have so much. Sick as hell. Yeah. And like I said, this is the biggest Gundam focused, kind of Gundam model focused convention in North America. They've built it up over a good number of years. I think this is year, oh God, I want to say 13, 14 for them. And I remember when it was, under 100 people showed up. They held it in a little ballroom in a, motel out in like Anaheim or something like that. And it was the start of something good, because after that, knowing these guys for so long, I would go hang out with them after the, before and after and everything. And, we kind of had our rituals and stuff like that after the convention and all that stuff. And yeah, just hearing Clem and Angel, talk about it, they're like, man, we had like, a 25% increase from last year's, participants and stuff, so they are ever growing. So yeah, it is such a good time, dude. I wish I could be out there every single year, but yeah, it's just it's prohibitive. Yeah. Julius from the chat, he goes out there as well. Yeah, I've met a lot of people, from the chat that is out that way. Yeah, and like I said, you'll have such a great time. You'll have such a great time, dude. You'll learn so much too. Trust me. He says, I'll tell them Tin sent me. You might get in good with them that way, dude. You might get in good with good with shit. Fucking English. You might get in good with them, right? So, yeah. Hell yeah. So, it's good time. It's really, really good time. So, all right. You guys, I'll leave this up here on the screen here real quick while we catch up with chat, yeah? Let's see. Matt Havoc says, I messed up a part on my Jin type high maneuver, the leg part that has the fans. I had used a paint thinner that stained the part, and it's lighter in color now. Ooh, that's rough. He's Matt Havoc says, I may have to primer it. Yeah, dude, paint it. There's no other choice. Paint it. Do it. Zaku186, what up, buddy? He's with us. Rip, right? Exactly. Let's see. Kelvin says Walnut, California is near Pomona, California, LA County. Yeah. Yeah, right there around like LA County, Orange County area is kind of where all of them are located in different parts. So yeah, really good time. Briggsy, what's going on, buddy? He says maybe by November you could go, if not next year, Tim, if you could get your name back out in the world, maybe do a GoFundMe for it. Oh man, I don't know if I want to do like a charity gig for that type of thing. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, I don't know how I feel. I would feel uncomfortable with that. So, but yeah, I mean we're definitely getting back on the scene. I mean, hell, Instagram is growing. Um, the I mean, all the social media is growing at this point, which is a really good direction to be in. So yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. Like I said, this year it just has. I have got so much shit going on with Amber going off to college and me trying to do this and get this place ready to go to market at some point in the future. Yeah, there's just a lot on the plate, unfortunately. A lot on the plate. So maybe next year, because I'll be, Renee and I'll be moved in together. Cash flow will probably be, obviously better. And hell, maybe her and I both can, go out next year for that. That would be cool. That would be really cool. So, yeah, met a ton of people out there. Just, just on and on and on. I could list names for days at this point. But, yeah, if you can get there, man, no matter where you are, if you can get there, get there. Yeah, it's a good time. Really good time. Pete. Excuse me. Pete says, gotta bail as real life beckons. Have fun, y'all. Pete, take care, buddy. Whew. Oh, man, excuse me. Having a bit of the verps. Which is fucking gross. There we go, that's better. Sorry, you guys, had to take a drink. Let's see. Brian says, I was supposed to go out 5 years ago. Julio and Tex were wanting to get me wasted since I barely drink. Yeah. Yeah. That I think I remember that, Brian. I think I remember that. Christ. That wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. That wouldn't surprise me. So, yeah. East Frank says, thanks for putting me on. Dude, always, brother. Always, always, always. Haha, come this year, Lilo, I'll get you a beer. There you go. There you fucking go. Nice. But, yeah, dude. SCGMC, those Gundam guys, go follow them. They deserve it. Like, those Gundam guys, Tex Marquise, if you follow her, awesome modeler, great person. Let's see, Angel, Clem, B-Hop, Manny, let's see, Travis, Christiana, Meg, God, just so many good people. So many good people. Yeah. It's, man, it's such a good time. Anyway, let's go back to Super Jim. Let's get back to work. Let's finish this out. It's very, very simple. Let's get it done. We've got about 10 minutes. All right, we can get this done. We can get this done. At very least, we can get the, kind of circular recess done here, the whole. Now, how far did I come up on this? That's 2.5. 2.5 in, 2.5 to center. Okie dokie. So, let's see. Yeah, we're just gonna we're just gonna measure it. Chisel discipline, and we're just going to measure. Come on. Curve is posing challenge. Right there. Right there. All right. So there's our center point for the recess, the hole, and we're going to bring in our little spinny chisels from good old God Hand here with the barbs and everything. And so let's pull these 2.5. Bingo. Let's get this into the pin vise and lock that in. All right, so now let me just make sure, measure twice, cut once, or measure 4 times, and just try to do something right here. Okay. Cool. All right, so yeah, we're pretty much dead on. All right, so right there. Okay, here we go. No going back now. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that looks pretty good. Yeah, go with that. That'll serve. That'll serve. All right, so we want to be careful with the depth. That's the main thing with what we're doing here, so. Okay, we're getting there. Okay, I think I'm gonna take a pause there, and we've got our little metallic detail part, right? So let's see what that looks like. Okay, cool. That definitely deep enough. Cool. So we're good there. All right, so now the last thing that we got to do is actually drill a hole through so that the little pin shaft of this thing, so there you can see it in profile, it has like a little 1mm shaft on this so that you can glue it into place. We need a hole for that. So we're going to put our spinny chisel away here first and foremost, and then let's see, I think I've got a 1mm drill bit in here somewhere. Let me see. There we go. This'll work. So again, this is another thing that I inherited. God hand drill bits, right? So, one of those things. Half mils, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, and 0.9. So we're going to use the 0.9. And so we have a, fairly nice snug fit. Oh, that's the wrong collet. God damn it. Hang on. Put the bit in the wrong collet size here for the pin vise. So I need to swap pin vices here. I think I got the right collet size in here. Does it hold it? Does it grip? Yeah, it does. There we go. All right, so now having that little barb in there works really well, obviously, because it's a center point. And then we can kind of go in here with our general, just our general metal scribe, and kind of create a pilot, like a pilot hole in there for our almost 1 millimeter drill bit. There we go. We're nice and centered. All right, so just all the way through. There we go. Very nice. Clean out a little shaving out of there. All right, so let's get the little metal detail part in here, and let's test this out. Oh, okay. Well, we may need a bigger drill bit because that is not going through that hole. That's fine. That's fine. No big deal. No big deal. We got it started, right? We got it started. Oh, okay, that's what I did. I completely forgot. So, dumbass. My dumbass used the 1 millimeter spinny chisel thing to drill this hole. Let's see if we can expand it without... Yeah, there we go. All right, that was easy enough. Okay, let's try that again. Let's try that again here. Come here, buddy. There it is. There it is. There it is. Very nice. Very, 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 very nice. That, yeah, that's good. Yeah, and look at that. That's just the height is just very, very subtle. You know what I mean? Just real subtle. That's, yeah, that's looking good. That's looking good. All right, perfect. Perfect. And it's, look at that, 1:59. Time to punch the clock. Let's get caught up on the chat first. Yeah, let's get caught up in the chat first, and then we'll punch the clock here. Let's go camera 1. Nice. All right, good deal. Let's see. Where do we leave off here? Eastwang just followed them, and you as well. Hey, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, if you're not following on social medias, man, you're only getting half the experience here. You know what I mean? So good deal there. Is GBWC different? Yes, it is. GBWC, Gundam Builders World Cup, is actually held by Bandai. SCGMC, which is by those Gundam guys, is a completely independent thing that they, like I said, they started years ago. And modeling, we all kind of started out around that same time. Clem and I, we met on the old forums back in the early 2000s on Gundam.com.
And back in the day, Gundam.com was not owned by Bandai. It was owned by an individual. And for the longest time, nobody knew who the fuck he was. He just went by Amuro, of all names, right? And he was pretty aloof, but he ran the website, right? Yeah, we've known each other. Clem and I have known each other for 20 plus years. Same thing with Angel and, you know, those guys. Yeah, they started this thing just because they were going to IPMS shows, right? And entering their Gundams. And they kind of got tagged with this moniker, oh, it's just those Gundam guys, right? So they took it and ran with it, and they were just like, okay, cool. We're those Gundam guys now, right? So, yeah, they started it kind of as a, you know, kind of a fuck you to IPMS and everything, but IPMS has come around here in recent years. Yeah, it's definitely different. GBWC has, you know, a ton of vague rules, but SEGMC, their rules and scoring rubric is very, very transparent, very clear, very understandable. So, like I said, it's a really good time. Really, really good time. Kelvin says, Tim, for those going to SEGMC, the campus is like walking around buildings planted in and around trees and trails. What? In-laws worked there as professors. That sounds cool as shit, I'm not gonna lie. That sounds really freaking cool. I bet it's awesome. Just thinking, you know, just getting the mental picture and the, you know, based off of the one picture on the website, it's just like, man, that's really, really cool. Holy shit, Kelvin, that's awesome, dude. 186 says, okay, we need to find Hathaway a girlfriend who isn't a gardening tool and a role model who isn't themselves a broken person. Watch the Hathaway movie again. Oh man, I've only seen the first one. I haven't seen the second one yet. He says, where do you find pen drills that have no run out or wobble? So when you get down to smaller size, 186, that is always going to be a problem. Especially under 1 millimeter. Let's go to camera 2 and show you here. Even these are going to have a slight wobble to them because they're just fragile. You know what I mean? You're talking, what, 0.5 millimeter for the smallest size here. And that's still a pretty good size comparatively to some of the other drill bits that I have, right? I've got these guys here, and these I think are for like, what are they? Like PCB boards, I think they're called. Something around that, something like that. And then where are the other ones that I have here? Here they are. I bought a set of micro drill bits back in the day, and for some reason they came in this wooden box. Kind of weird packaging, but hey, whatever. And the smallest ones go down to, this is a size 80, and this is a 0.34 millimeter, and yeah, you're talking stupid fragile when it comes to these sizes, but yeah, it depends on the drill bit, obviously, the size of it and everything. Now for the handle, for the actual pin vise, I always recommend these ball style pin vices. These give you a ton
of control. Simply because the shape of them fits nicely in the hand. You can just kind of palm, the ball and twist it with your thumb and forefinger, right? Which gives a ton of stability. And, just imagine that's what you're essentially doing, right? So I love these. I actually have two of them, right? And a ton of different collets in sizes, because you're going to be working with different bit sizes and everything. And you can buy different collet sizes. You can buy a big pack of these on like Amazon, right? Very inexpensively, that will fit into, these. And this is a common design. Again, you can find these on Amazon. But having a steady pin vise handle will help with the wobble and everything too. Because my first pin vise was this thing. And nothing spins on this. This is just a metal shaft with a tiny collet in it, and that's it, right? But since then, I've repurposed it to my kind of super glue applicator. This I don't recommend to anybody. These are cheap and worthless as a pin vise, but these guys right here, these are going to be the ones that I will always recommend. These are great. Yeah, for the really small drill bits, I mean, you can see here, especially like this guy right here. I don't even know if you can see it on camera very well. I mean, look at that. That's nuts, right? What is this? I need my visor to see the size on this thing. That is, yeah, okay, so this right here, this drill bit right here is 1/4 millimeter in diameter. 1/4 millimeter. So, yeah, that's going to be extremely fragile. This one here, yeah, same thing with this yellow collar one. That's also a 1/4 millimeter in diameter. I don't know if I have anything smaller than that. I think that's I would hope that's the smallest that they go. But, you never quite know. But that does look to be, yeah, that's got to be the smallest that I have here. Yeah, 0.25. I don't even know if anything smaller is capable in terms of a hobby use type of thing, when would you ever need a 0.3 or a 1/4 millimeter drill bit? Well, when you are into making like rivets, right? Especially on higher scale models, like this is 1/100. Those little rivets are now going to become even smaller and smaller and smaller, and honestly to the point where you can't even see them most of the time. But your heavier rivets, just a little drill hole, down an edge of a panel or something like that, you can represent little rivets and stuff like that. So yeah, that's just I don't even know where I was going with that. I completely lost my train of thought. It's Friday. I don't know. But yeah, so you're not going to need the really small ones. I think this set right here, and I'm not talking about this specific God hand set, but this range of sizes is probably pretty good. And then beyond that, I have my big old drill index that has, all sorts of big to small sizes. This, goes from I think that's probably a good 6 millimeter in diameter at least, down to one millimeter at its smallest, right? And these are, you know, heavy, high-speed steel drill bits. These are, you know, really good drill bits, and again, Amazon find. Yeah, I mean, 1 millimeter is like the borderline between, you know, how you purchase drill bits, I would say. You know, you can get sets smaller than 1 millimeter and then larger than 1 millimeter as well. So, yeah, that's what I would go with. That's what I would go with. Anyway, would like a tool stream still. Yeah, me too. Me too. I don't know. We'll see what we'll see what we can do with that. We'll see what we can do. I've got some thoughts. We'll see what we can do with that. So 186 says Gundam forums owned by Gundam Store and More. I used to be really active there. No, like this was let's go back to camera 1 here real quick. The ones that I was talking about was literally Gundam.com, and this was back in the early 2000s. So I remember Gundam forums from Gundam Store and More. There was Gundam Fanatics. That was another big one. But then, yeah, the Gundam.com was the coup de grace in terms of, you know, general Gundam forums. And they had a section for modeling and everything. And like I said, that's how Clem and I met, and Angel and stuff like that. So, yeah. Eastwang, haha, that's a fascinating story, right? Wow, those are tiny. 186, yeah. Andrew! He says, afternoon all. What's going on, buddy? Let's see. No Gundam base run this month. Sister managed to upset my dad enough that he canceled his trip to the VA hospital, and I can't afford the gas to go on my own. That sucks, dude. I'm sorry about that. I mean, look at it this way. We're already half through June. So we only got a couple weeks until the next month. Silver lining, maybe? I don't know. Just throwing it out there to try to be positive. Turn that frown upside down, kiddo. Anyway, Kelvin says, Tim and all going to SCGMC. I must say for clarity, that's what the campus looked like 10 to 15 years ago. Hope it didn't change much. I've been out of Cali for 10 years. I gotcha. Still, I mean, just from what you described, Kelvin, I mean, it sounds awesome. You know what I mean? So it would be really cool to go, but like I said, it's just not in the cards for me this year, unfortunately. So what are you going to do? Anyway. All right, kiddos. That's where we're going to punch the clock for today, or for right now. We're going to be back on tonight. I'm going to give it some thought. We might do the tool time tonight. Just go through a bunch of tools. Just talk tools. Yeah, we might do that tonight. So come on back for tonight's stream. Hang out with us. Have fun. Ask questions. Interact. Be a part of the community. So, yeah. Anyway, with that being said, you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Build something cool. Be safe out there. And stay tuned for the end credits. I'll see you guys tonight. Bye.